So we're about to duplicate this end panel, and what we'd like to do is, I guess, just have a left and a right end panel. The plywood insert, we haven't done a joint on it yet, so if I pull that out, zoom in on it, click join, capture position, and zoom right into the center, and hover down until you hit the center in between the two sides. And the tricky part is selecting the other side, so you need to get your view just right, so you can do the same to that bottom panel. Then we're going to click OK, and that's all locked together. Just have a bit of a grab one section and pull it from one side to the other, just to double check everything's joined. The last thing you want is your model falling apart as we do the next section. The next thing we're going to do is turn off the join feature. It just hides the symbols on our model, and then we can collapse or kind of reduce the size of all the extra components there, so we can only see the end panel there. While we're there, we're going to right click and go copy. Then we're going to right click on the chest project, the top one, and go paste. At this point we want to do paste, not paste new, because we want a direct copy. Capture position again, and then I'm going to pull it from this handle. I'm going to pull it around to 180 degrees. That's going to allow us to have a left and a right. You can see my model's blowing apart a bit. I'm not sure why it glitches like that, but as soon as you click it and drag it, it should snap back together. Make sure you're saving your work regularly, and that's our two left and right end panels. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a front and back panel. So we can use this model again, so we're going to copy it, then we're going to paste. So this time, make sure you paste up here, and we're going to do a paste new because we want it to be a different component. We're going to make some changes to this one. So this time I'm going to rotate it only 90 degrees. Don't worry too much about how it's aligned. We're going to do that with joining a little bit later. The first thing that we need to do though is we need to get rid of these rebates on the side. So if I click this one here and then expand our end panel, you can see it's underlined, the piece I've selected. I'm going to click the activation dot, and I'm going to come down here. It's the last extrusion that was cut with, so I'm going to get rid of that rebate by deleting it. The next thing I'm going to do is, so we've got a sketch warning here, so let's have a quick look at that. So there's some reference geometry that's been affected with that. It's not going to matter for this because once we save it, once we activate the other thing, it should be where exactly what you want still, so that's okay. The other thing that while I've been testing, I've noticed sometimes the plywood insert, when we expand this piece, will kind of not go with it. So I'll have a practice now. So horizontal rail, I'm going to activate that dot and come down here, and this time we want to click this one. I'm going to make that 500 and expand it. We'll see if the plywood panel goes this time. You can see it hasn't, and that would be our sketch warning this time. You can see it has the reference geometry hasn't kind of stuck onto this first rail. From what I've seen, the best way to do this one is to delete that panel. Sorry, I'll have to do it here. Plywood, and we're going to quickly draw it up again. So from this one here, we're going to put in a new component. We're going to do a sketch. I'm going to zoom into the end here. Take your time making sure you select the bottom of the groove, capture position, I'm going to finish the sketch straight away and go extrude. You're going to start pulling that one out. Line up your sketch so you can see the bottom of this groove here and change your extent to object. Then if we can click that bottom, it will expand out to where we want it to go. So you can see that's our plywood panel. We need to come down here and call this one plywood again. So it's starting to get a little bit confusing, but if we activate our dot at the top here and look at our different panels that we've got, you can see we've got the pieces we need. I'm going to change at this point this one to reflect what it is. So I'm going to call it front and back panel because we're going to use the same panel for both front and the back. So let's do a few joins here. So join the front corner here to the front corner there. Now see how that's flipped around. There's a little flip tool here. Click OK, so that comes together. You can see I haven't joined the front panel on, but we can do that later. Join, capture position. We're going to join the front corner of this one, the front corner of this one. Same deal, we want to flip it. Okay, so that's got our frame together nicely. Then I'm going to go into my front and back panel, select that activation dot, and I'm going to bring that to position. I'm going to bring this plywood insert into position. So just like I did with the other ones, really carefully line up your project so you can see the inside of this groove. And click OK, and we've got our box together. Lastly, it should be a pretty easy step. We're going to click this one and copy it back up to the top, right click paste. We're using a paste this time because it's a direct copy of what's behind it. We can pull this one out this way, come out a little bit further than where you want to attach it, and then activate that top piece again. Use the join feature, capture position, and go from the corner there to the corner over here. Make sure we select the right position, and we're going to flip it around. So that's our finished box carcass. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little lip around the top. We're going to put a plinth on the bottom, a base in, and then we can make up our lid.